Here we have my Dianne. Welcome.
Dr. Lin, Connie, great to be here. Shangda, Kuila.
Yeah, thank you. So the first question is last week the BC Liberals have lost the right to govern in the last election. As a leader, how would you do differently?
Well, first of all, there were some local issues at play. How we handled taxis and ride sharing contributed it, but there's no magic solution to this. We're going to need a leader that can get out there, get into every corner of the province, reconnect with people, create a vision. And, I've got a good record. I've won 9 straight elections. I'm going to win the next one. And I hope I win it as the leader of the BC Liberal Party.
Fantastic. So the next question is really matters to everybody's housing affordability issue. So BC Liberal government in last year, they implemented 15% foreign buyers tax. But in November, BCREA reported 15% rises in the housing prices. How would you address housing affordability issue?
First of all, I think people are focusing, many people, not all, but many people are focusing on the wrong part of the equation. The foreign buyers tax related to an element of demand, but the real problem here is supply. Domestic demand for housing has grown because of how strong our economy is. People are coming here from other parts of Canada, never mind other parts of the world. That's a good sign. We need to build more. In Metro Vancouver, there are applications for 120,000 units of housing. We have to get on with approving at least a good portion of those. I would legislate timelines. I would require governments to do what people have to do, and that is meet deadlines. 10 months. 10 months for a standard application to have a decision. Let's get on with building the houses and the homes that people watching this program want to buy and live in with their families.
Nice. So talking about timeline, let's talk about healthcare. As a leader, if you are elected as a leader, how would you address the long wait time in doctors and the shortage of doctors?
Strategic investments, the use of technology, all of this is clearly important, and but so is an openness to other types of medicine. And traditional Chinese medicine, of course, is something that is relevant to a lot of people that live within British Columbia. And I don't think we should be hostile to bringing in new approaches. I think we should look to that as an opportunity. But here's something else I think we need to do, and this is a message for the people watching. Healthcare costs are going up. We need to alleviate that with national drug purchase plans and other coordinated efforts. But we all have a responsibility to take better care of ourselves. And politicians, Connie, don't like to say that, but I'm going to say it. Taking better care of ourselves is a big part of meeting the rising costs in healthcare.
So that sounds already leading to my next question as well. So how do you differentiate yourself among the other candidates?
Well, first of all, clearly I have a lot of experience. You go through the list of ministries that I have been responsible for over the last 24 years. It'll be 24 years next month that I've been an MLA. Forest Minister, Aboriginal Affairs Minister, Labour Minister, Attorney General, Solicitor General, Health Minister, and for the last 5 years, Finance Minister. But I don't think that's experience on its own isn't sufficient. The ability to take our team, re-energize it, and create and draw out of our team the vision that we'll need to take the British Columbians in the next election, in the electoral rematch. The NDP play for keeps. This is not a cricket match. This is a full contact sport, and we need a leader that is ready literally on day one to hit the ground running, and I think I'm that person.
Great. So talking about teamwork, so how would you relate to different voters across BC?
Well, part of it is, I think, a function of who you are as an individual. I'm not shy about acknowledging the fact that I grew up on a farm. I'm not from the urban part of British Columbia, though I have worked here and practiced my profession in urban centers. So the ability to bridge people that live in more rural settings with those that live urban, and the ability to listen, the ability to take ideas from others and incorporate them into the principles that we stand for as a party. And look, for the people watching, I am someone that believes taxes should be lower, not higher. I am someone that believes that government should live within its means and balance the budget. I did it 5 times as finance minister. And if I lead a government, we'll do it 5 more times.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Mike.
Connie, a delight. And the next time we do this, maybe I'll interview you as the MLA for Vancouver Mount Pleasant.
Great. And very best luck to you in February.
Thank you.
Thank you. Here we have Sam Sullivan. Sam, how are you doing?
幾好，多謝你邀請我參加。
Wow. So the first question for you is this time BC Liberal lost the right to govern, and as a leader, what would you do differently?
Okay, well, I would like to say that I would have an agenda that is more interesting and supported by urban people. We really did well in the rural areas, but we didn't do very well in the urban areas. So I believe, as a former mayor of Vancouver, I have an ability to get more support from urban areas, and I have a better sense of what they need.
And this question you must know very well is a housing affordability issue. So in last year, BC Liberal government implemented a 15% foreign buyers tax, but in November, BC REA reported 15% rise in the housing prices. So as a lead, if you elected as a leader, what would you do with this problem?
Well, I have never believed that foreign buyers were a major part of this issue. I've been studying this for many years, since the 1990s, and the real problem is the policy that was created in the 1970s to stop growth of housing. And when you do that, you're going to restrict the supply and push up the price. So when I was elected mayor 12 years ago, that was my number one priority, was to get down the price of housing. 12 years ago, I thought the price of housing in Vancouver was way too high. So I started an eco-density initiative. And one of the goals was affordability. And I want to complete that.
That's also a really good goal. So next one is healthcare. Everybody cares about healthcare. If you're elected, what are you going to do with the long doctor wait time and the shortage of doctors?
Well, I'm going to do exactly what they do in Europe. France and Germany has higher rated healthcare. They don't have the wait list. They don't have all of this problem with their healthcare. Why? Because they adopt certain parts of the private system. And they have a rule that if they can bring in some private health care and improve the public system, they do it. So, for example, my idea is, if you want to jump the queue and pay for yours in British Columbia, you have to pay for someone else's as well. So immediately we would have a lot of people paying for other people to get this done. And I think that, like in Europe, the wait list will go away, and we will have a much better system.
So shift gear a little bit. So what do you think that makes you stand out among the other candidates?
Well, one thing that I that's not similar to the other candidates is that I have taken a party from opposition to government already. And I did it against the same people we're now faced in Victoria. I did it in Vancouver. And when I started as an opposition leader in Vancouver, we had 5 seats, 2 on the school board, 1 on the park board, and 2 on the council. And out of 27, 5 out of 27. And I implemented my strategy, and we ended up with 17 seats. Out of 27, we had the majority on council, school board, and park board. And I became the mayor. So I've done it before. I think I know how it's done. And if the members of the BC Liberal Party want someone who has a proven track record, then they want to consider me.
So as a former Vancouver mayor, you know Vancouver very well, but how would you relate to other voters across the BC?
Well, that's the critical question. My idea is that a lot of the problems of the rural areas come from Vancouver people who try to stop the rural people from having the economy they need. My idea is that every region of the province should be allowed to define itself and define its own priorities. And I will defend the rural people from the urban people who want to shut them down. So I believe that I will rely heavily on the urban members of my caucus, the rural members, to help define our approach to rural issues.
Thank you so much, Sam.
Thanks for having me.
And very good luck to your election in February.
多謝晒.
Here we have Andrew Wilkinson. Welcome, Andrew.
Thanks for having me. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. I'm here to grill you. The first question
Okay, what's the first question?
in the last, why do you think BC Liberal lost government in this election, and how would you do differently as a leader?
Well, I think the problem for us in the election was that we were talking to people about big grand things like debt to GDP ratios and credit ratings that really don't matter to normal people. And the NDP talked to people about things like bridge tolls and about childcare and things that really make a difference in their lives. And that's what we're going to have to do the next time, is talk about things that really matter to people.
Right. So housing affordability, that really matters to people.
That does matter to people.
Yeah. So in last year, BC Liberal government implemented 15% foreign buyers tax.
Right.
But in November, BCREA reported 15% increase in housing prices. As a leader,
Yeah,
you're gonna do differently.
the foreign buyers tax had the effect of slowing down the market for about 3 months, and then it started to rise again. And so the issue becomes, what's the best way to make for affordable housing in Greater Vancouver? There's going to have to be a lot more affordable housing in Vancouver. We're going to have to build a lot more, have more density, change the rules about zoning so that people can actually build something. Otherwise, the demand is there and the supply is fixed, the price is going to go up.
Right. So the next question, as a doctor, you know how to answer
Yes.
this. Healthcare, everybody cares about it.
Yeah.
If you were elected as a leader, what are you going to do to the doctor wait time and the shortages?
Well, the thing that's starting to really bother me about family doctors' offices is that they haven't changed since I practiced medicine 30 years ago. And so it's time for the practice of family medicine to update itself and provide for things like online appointments, online prescription renewals. There's a lot of efficiency that can be put into the system. It also reduces the amount of tedious stuff that doctors are asked to do. So they can actually practice medicine rather than administer medicine.
So the next question, well, aside from having so many degrees, what set you apart from other candidates?
Well, I grew up in Kamloops, and I lived and worked in places like Dease Lake and Lillooet and Campbell River, so I have a really good understanding of all of British Columbia. Plus, I live in Vancouver, which is where we're going to have to win the next election. So I'm prepared to fight an election on both of those fronts.
Well, you kind of answered the next question, though. How would you relate to different voters across BC?
Exactly. Well, I have a really good understanding of people across BC, having been a professional in 2 different fields in cities all over the province. So I'm really comfortable operating in different corners of the province and getting along with people. I've got an environmental background through the BC Mountaineering Club. I'm very comfortable in most places in British Columbia with most people.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Best of luck in February. Thank you for tuning in to the special edition of Monday Forum. I'm Conny Lin. Have a good night.